In Good Shape, your health magazine on DW, featuring an interview with a different expert every week.
While tattoos are frowned upon in the Asian world, here in Europe many people love them. Here in Germany, for instance, 1 out of 10 persons has a tattoo. But when you grow older and you change your style, perhaps you want to remove your tattoo. Then you go and see a dermatologist. Like I will do today. I'm gonna meet Dr. Yael Adler. She's a skin specialist and a laser expert, and I'm gonna ask her if she can remove tattoos. Welcome to In Good Shape. Come on, let's meet her. I think it's a way of life. Sometimes the love of your life is gone and the tattoo is still there. So you want to remove the tattoo, what you do? You go to a dermatologist like Yael Adler. Thanks for inviting me today.
Welcome.
Is this one of the main reasons that the old love is gone and the name of the love is still on your arm, and you like to remove this with a laser, for instance?
Most of the time people want to get rid of a sin of one's youth. People see fashion is changing, they don't like the picture anymore, and then they want to get rid of it.
And you're the right person to go to then?
I have different lasers, so I can help them to get rid of the colors of the motif, but not always it's 100% successful.
I'm a little bit under the impression that there are more and more people getting tattoos nowadays. And is it that if more and more people get tattoos, that more and more people come to you to want to get them removed?
Tattoos are very hip now, so everybody wants to have a nice decoration, a name, something which is important for him or her. And they know that the technique to remove tattoos are much improved compared to former times. People say, okay, I try it, and if I don't like it anymore, I go and have it removed.
So you do remove tattoos on a regular basis. What was the most shocking tattoo you ever needed to remove?
Very often people come here and cry because they hate their tattoos, and I once had a young woman, she was lying on her belly to have a remove on her rump, on the back side of her body, and she wanted to have a fly. But when she looked in the mirror afterwards, it turned out to be a monster skull, and this was really a very big, black, ugly one. Well, she had to undergo laser treatment, but right. Sometimes people have to go through surgery, or they use chemical substances to somehow remove the color. It's not always easy.
So you use lasers for removal of tattoos. How do they work?
The laser heat leads to explosions of the color in your skin. So imagine the color would be like a big rock, and the laser energy makes the color burst into stones, little stones. And even this laser makes the color burst into kind of sand. So really small particles. This way you see a very quick improvement of the darkness of the color. It gets brighter quickly.
How often does the patient have to come to you to get the tat removed?
How often the patient has to come depends on how deep the color was injected into the skin and how dense the color is, and also what kind of color mixture was used. And this, as a doctor, you never know. So you have to tell your patient, we have to see how you react, and then it can be like 5 times or 15 times.
And is it very expensive for the patient?
It's very expensive, yes, because each time you come, depending on the size of the tattoo, you pay from 100 to several hundred euros. So most of the time you pay more than 1,000 euros to get it removed.
So it's more expensive to get it removed than to get it done in the first place.
And you also have the pain a second time.
The pain the second time, but if you remove the tattoo with the laser, is it gone completely, and is the skin normal after that? Mm-hmm. In
many cases you can remove tattoos completely, but you never know before. Some colors are very difficult to be removed completely, like red or yellow. And some color mixtures, you don't know which one or which was used in this patient, are very resistant. So sometimes you have a gray, ghost-like coloration still in the skin, but it's not so visible anymore, and people are most of the time very satisfied.
So if you get a tattoo, you'll get a lot of chemicals inside your body. But if you remove the tattoo with the laser, isn't it even riskier to get the chemicals with energy, to heat them up, for instance?
We know that tattoo ink itself is very often toxic. But changing the color particles by high energy can even increase the risk to be more toxic, like you can have more allergies or a higher risk to develop cancer in the future. or your immune system may be hyperactive after destroying the color. So no research exists. Nobody knows what happens with these particles after laser treatment in your body in the future.
So what would you suggest as an expert? Would you say just leave the tattoo even if it's not nice any longer, but leave it inside your body, or would you go for it and remove it?
If you don't like your tattoo, go for it and remove it, but try to be careful before you laser ink. Try to check whether the ink was toxic or not. There are some special hints given by some institutions which colors are more dangerous and which ones are not. If you don't know it, you can use the laser just on a small spot and see how the skin reacts, and then go stepwise and see. Maybe you can drink a lot, you can take care of what you eat to antagonize the toxic effects in your body.
Yeah, this is one of our viewer questions. Kimani Ephraim from Nairobi wants to know, he's got half of his body full of tattoos and he wants to remove it. And he asked us if he can get some natural diet you could recommend after removal of the tattoos.
Imagine you have car lacquer in your skin, or heavy metals, or preservatives, so substances that don't belong to your body and make your body sick. You can't really neutralize them by eating healthy stuff, but you can support your body to fight the risks. So the stronger your body gets by eating fish and nuts and vegetables of different colors, then you support your health and your immune system.
And are there any tattoos you would say, hands off, don't remove them?
Normally, if somebody comes to me and says, I want to have removed a big, huge tattoo with many colors and very dense injections, it will be a very, very difficult project. So we have to talk a lot and decide whether it should be done and whether it's sensible. Sometimes people decide to remove parts and then use a new tattoo with a new motive to have it nicer than it was before. But some are really, well, a big problem to be removed.
You've written a book about the human skin, and one part is about tattoos. So, and you really explain in this book what happens inside your skin if you get a tattoo. Could you just summarize this for us?
Imagine your skin is a protective barrier, and you take a needle and go through this barrier brutally and bring in toxic substances, and they don't remain in the skin. They use the lymphatic pathways through your body to the lymph nodes, to your organs, and you never know what will happen in the future with your organs and your health state.
Well, you see, I'm a father myself. I've got 2 girls and one of them is hitting puberty right now. And if she comes to me and say, Daddy, I'd like to have a tattoo, what would you say to her? And please say it directly to her into the camera.
Say to your dad, please buy me new jewelry, new clothes, but don't get a tattoo. Most people dislike and hate their tattoos after some years, so please think before you ink.
You heard the dermatologist, Lara? Don't get a tattoo, okay? Thanks for your help, and thanks for inviting me today.
Thank you.